Tell me how Brandon was supposed to beat you up.
Oh, that's how we're gonna start it. I was cleverly gonna say, did you know that someone put a hit out on me on high school?
We can't talk
and you
about
were the
that in
hitman
front of your son.
There's nothing to tell, honestly. That's why we have a show. So
there actually is something that you're not thinking about that we should talk about off camera because it has to do with. And if you want to talk about that in front of your son, sure.
Okay, pause him for a second.
Exactly.
I'm Chris Lujan.
I am called Bindu.
This is the I Ams. I don't think we needed to cut any of that.
Well, I didn't know if
you didn't have to put it that way.
But I didn't know that was the relationship. I didn't know you. It was just a friend of mine that I was very close with, and she was like, "This guy made me mad," and I'm like, "What do you want? You want me to beat him up?"
See, that's all we need. It didn't need to be anything filthier than that.
Well, but why would I do something like that? It's because we.
Why would you do something like that? Something like that never happened.
Right.
You were supposed. It was known that. So, like, I didn't know you. I knew who you were in high school. Correct. You knew who I was because, like, we both had big footprints then, I guess, right?
Well, we were trendsetters, and we were established.
Big feet.
Yeah. Big feet, and you and I we break off the norm. It's in us.
Yeah.
To break out of the norm.
Yeah, so you were a year ahead of me. So you must have been a senior and I was a junior at this time. And it was just known for some reason, maybe through Bruce, that this Brandon guy is supposed to kick my ass over this girl, right?
Yeah.
And it was like, okay, I know who Brandon is.
Well, I didn't know about it all like that. I remember offering it. And that's
great.
it.
Because you used to like to fight back then.
Right.
So anyways.
But the problem was that the girl asking me to do the beating up, I'm with another girl now.
Stupid high school shit. Yeah.
So if I start beating some dude up.
Oh yeah, how's that going to look to the new girl?
Right, I can't do that.
Right.
What the fuck?
In my mind, it was just like you were just a friend. Because I don't know what the history is at that point.
I was just a friend.
So it's like, just a friend is supposed to beat me up. Whether you have another girlfriend or not, it's just like, he's supposed to beat me up, I guess. And somehow I knew it. You know
how
But he never got around to it.
No. I didn't have anything against you.
Of course not.
And you were kind of cool.
We didn't know each other, really.
You were kind of cool, though.
Thank you.
You know.
So were you, I guess, maybe? I didn't know you.
Well, we come from a very Oakland, Stockton, hip-hop environment.
Yeah.
Diverse, super diverse.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Where white people drop the N-word in our town, and no one really...
Everyone does.
Really?
Yes.
I don't.
In Pittsburgh.
I think you know that I don't.
I'm just saying, in our town, no one cares.
Yeah.
That's how tough our town is.
I guess.
So for you to be completely alternative and for me to be completely alternative, that was a big fucking thing in our high school. It was huge.
I mean, we were both into hip-hop as well, though.
Absolutely. We both got it, right? It's in our gene. Like, look at your Life of Grime shit. You can't get away from it.
Right.
But at that time, for you to listen to, like, Jane's Addiction, that was, like, unheard of at Pittsburgh High School.
I guess so. That goes back to the,
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyways, so...
Like, you dyeing your hair and shit all? That was like...
Yeah.
Nobody was doing that shit.
No. We mentioned it in the last episode that I haven't edited yet.
Right. And there were still, like... No skateboarding signs and shit. Skateboarding was a crime.
Yeah,
dude.
now schools have like skateboard racks. Like they have bike racks. There's skateboard racks.
No, they
Maybe
don't.
not at Pitt High, but they make skateboard racks.
Wow.
That you could like lock and everything.
Oh, that's
crazy.
That's cool.
It's like basically like a slot and then like a loop. So then the loop, and then you put a lock around the loop, and then you can't. Anyway.
For those that don't understand how big skateboarding was, they worked that shit into Back to the Future.
True.
He broke that scooter up and he was fucking doing ollies and shit.
And it was like, look, we pretended to invent skateboarding just now.
Yeah. Because in the real time, that was like 1985, 1986, 1987.
Yeah.
That's when you were fucking skating. That's when grommets is happening.
Yeah, I started skating in...
Right.
Let me think. Yeah, I think I started skating in 85.
That's what I wanted to talk about a little bit. And we'll stay on this, me and you and shit.
Yeah.
But like when we're talking about comics and stuff, right? I want people to think about Severance, right? Right now in our time, there's a television show called Severance.
Yeah.
It's not done
In
yet.
I don't know about your timeline, but in ours,
Right.
there's a show called Severance.
Right. It's April 15th, right?
Tax day.
Right? 2025, the year of our Lord. And they just finished
Maybe
up.
your lord. I'm
Right.
kidding.
It just finished up season 2 of a television show called Severance.
Yeah.
Which is getting accolades as one of the greatest things ever made.
Yeah, it's
But
great.
it's not finished yet. And we
Right.
don't know if it's good or not.
True.
Right?
Yeah.
Because Game of Thrones was amazing until the last 3 episodes, and now it's unwatchable.
Right now, we're eating the most amazing salad, but we don't know if there's a worm at the bottom of it.
Right. Now, let's think about this worm in the bottom of the salad mind frame, okay? When people hold comics like The Watchmen, they talk about it as one complete thing.
Yes.
When people talk
That's true.
about Star Wars, they talk about it as one complete thing.
Right. Now.
I was part of the time where you didn't know if it was going to be good, and you're holding on,
Yeah, like
hoping.
Lost.
Exactly. It could be like Lost. It could be like Game of the Thrones, where you hold on to it for years, invest all this time, and then it sucks.
Did you see the answer?
Or like Star Wars.
Or like Star Wars.
The answer is probably going to be no, but did you see the movie Cabin in the Woods?
Yes.
Okay. So I went into
The
Cabin.
answer's going to be no. This guy.
Well, because like there's a list of movies
But the
I
point
need you
I'm
to
getting
watch.
at is there's a fandom of the people that were experiencing it in the zeitgeist of the time.
Remember when we had a topic? Oh, wait. Oh, well.
No, we'll get there.
No, but because what I'm saying is no one talks about the zeitgeist of the times,
Yeah.
right? So when you watch Back to the Future and he fucking breaks that shit up and starts skateboarding, that movie was made at a time where skateboarding was huge.
It was, and it helped it pick up too.
But there's nowhere to find that out. You just had to have been there and known it.
Yeah,
And that's who we are.
I guess so.
We're the dudes that were there.
That's what we're talking about. We're talking about us and where we came from.
And shits are not written down. and like losing Ed Piskor was losing like, oh my God, he had so much that's not written down. Fuck. Right? And we're one of those, so anyways, yeah.
The only reason I brought up Cabin in the Woods is because I went into that loving it. For the first 2/3 of the movie, I was like, I love this movie. I love the fucking Shaggy Scooby-Doo element to it and whatever. And then there was just a point in that movie where I was like, oh man, this sucks. Something happened. I've actually watched it again and tried to find the moment, but something happened where I was like, I thought I saw where it was going and I was excited about where it was going, and it did something different, which maybe that's good because it wasn't what I expected, but it was so not what I expected that I was like, oh man,
Interesting.
they fucked this up.
That's a cult classic movie because of that.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's huge. There's a huge, huge following that love that fucking movie.
Sure. Oh, I know.
Yeah. But no, I get it.
So back to us. So you never got around to kicking my ass in high school,
No.
right? Then you graduate high school a year before me. We go our separate ways because there was no way. We had nothing together.
Correct.
And then you could watch the Underground Agent 6 episode to figure out how we came together.
We just knew everybody, your and
Oh,
I
yeah.
personal circles never touched, but we knew everybody
All the same people.
closely.
Yeah.
And the people that loved me loved you. And the
Yeah.
people that loved you loved me. But we just never,
Yeah.
not till later.
Yeah.
So I graduated a year before you, and then you graduated.
We're like a Venn diagram where you're like one of the sides and I'm one of the sides, but it all meets in the middle.
Right, exactly that. And I graduated in 91, you graduated in 92. We didn't hook up until 95?
Right, because you saw my band. So very briefly, Underground Agent 6, which was our band. You know, I had bands already. You and Bruce started doing music. You came and saw us, or you accidentally saw me do music, and it was like, oh shit. Then we started working on music together. And I guess by that point, like I was friends with Bruce, and so I was like, it's not like they're not gonna invite me over and ambush me, you know? So
You know, and it's a trip too because you've been a diehard performer of music since then.
Oh yeah, I was already gigging.
And I tried to get you to do commercial radio from other people, and you were adamantly against it.
Yeah.
Way back then.
If only I would have gone that route. Maybe I'd be like, I'd be in the money because I'd be in like a cheesy cover band. You know?
I find it's unique because we're decades later now.
30 years later.
Completely established.
And I'm still the same guy, kind of.
And you still have like this weird imposter. You still don't think you're a rock star. I find it's charming and it's humbling, and I'm proud of you.
Thanks.
Because you are a fucking rock star, dude. I don't know if you know that.
Thanks.
Right? Didn't you
Yeah.
just get a rock star check the other day?
I did get a rock star check the other day.
Yeah. Hard work pays off. It's well earned. It's well earned and well deserved.
I'm telling you, you get your song sampled through TrackLib, or you get your song synced somehow into a commercial or whatever, you get quarterly paychecks that are sometimes quite awesome. Sometimes they're like, oh, dope, extra money. But sometimes they're like, holy shit. You know.
Yeah.
Anyways.
You're so counterculture. So you and I are so counterculture. Like, we're never going to make money off of this YouTube show. I don't think.
I quit.
But what I was going to say is, what's funny about the whole thing is we're doing a YouTube show just kind of
It's kind of for us.
Totally for us.
Yeah.
It's totally for us. We have our own careers and we do our own shit.
We do laugh about it and stuff.
Yeah,
so
but this is great.
It kind of is for us.
And your edits.
Thank you. So let's see. So we were doing music together.
Yeah, you're making me laugh, man.
We were doing music together, but you are also an artist, right? So you would bring a lot of graphic design to the band.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know who came up with the logo. I feel like you did. Mm-hmm. Okay, I wasn't sure if it was like me
we were all drawing and sketching all the time.
Okay.
You and I always draw and sketch.
But you, legit artist back then even. So you were you would draw the flyers and like stuff like that, right?
Well, I like the Route 66 logo.
Yeah.
So I just made it a 6.
Mm-hmm. There was a time, like we would, somehow me and you kicked it off, right? And so we would hang out outside of the band, right?
Right. Well, it's because you're such a fucking badass.
Thanks.
That I felt like a legit badass.
You're a badass
hanging out with the fucking badass.
Oh, right. Let's not go sucking each other's dicks just yet.
No, but that's what it was. I felt like,
Christ.
Like even now. Like, okay, so I'm like, you know what? If we talk about comic books, the intro should be X, Y, or Z. And you're like,
oh, yes.
I could just make that. And I'm like, oh my God, I didn't even think of that.
You were like, I forgot who I was talking to.
Yeah. I'm fucking...
So there's been times throughout the years where we've collaborated on stuff, art pieces, or like, you know, some stuff that didn't come to fruition, which I guess we could talk about now. But I remember coming to you because you have all of these ideas. And I just asked you a few episodes ago, like, what do we got to do to make you productive? And you took it out like I wasn't, but I was talking about your art, right?
Yeah.
And I remember coming to you because you've always had ideas. I came to your house one day, like specifically to talk to you and try to motivate you somehow. I was like, dude, you're an amazing artist. Do you remember this? I was like, you're either gonna be the guy who has all of this artwork in his closet, or you're gonna make a name for yourself with this art. Do you remember that?
I do.
Of course, you're making a name for yourself with Paint Night and have made a name for yourself. But we need to get the art, like the comic books out, man. I'm telling you. This is what we've collaborated on stuff so much. And like, I want to see you win because it's so good. God damn it.
Thanks, man.
You're welcome.
I want to win too. I recently was at Flying Colors and they reissued out a silent comic book. It's a ninja comic book.
I know what you wanted to talk about.
It's a very famous G.I. Joe comic book.
Yes.
Yeah. And in this comic book, there's no words at all.
Right.
And so, and Larry Hama does it. He does the roughs, and I don't remember what actual artist finishes it and all of that. But they just reprinted it because this is an incredibly expensive comic book.
Okay. What year did the original come out? Do you know? Ballpark it?
83.
Oh, long time ago.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Like G.I. Joe.
Okay.
right? Like when the cartoons were out, right?
Oh, look at them in their little helmets.
Back for people that don't know, back when you used to get out of school, right? When you would come home,
Yeah.
it was like 2 hours.
In elementary school. Right?
Yeah, and for me, for middle school,
Yeah.
right? There's like 2 hours of really, really good cartoons, right? You have some Thundercats,
Yeah. He-Man.
right?
Yeah.
G.I. Joe, Transformer,
Yep.
Right?
Yep, all that stuff.
and all of those cartoons were just ads for the toys.
I would watch all of that stuff at my Nanu and Nana's house.
Oh, that's sweet. Yeah.
They watched us.
Well, G.I. Joe,
That's the Italian in me.
that was like Star Wars came out. There was Barbie dolls, there was G.I. Joe dolls, then there was Mego figures, and then Star Wars came out. Now there's Star Wars figures.
Yeah.
G.I. Joe followed suit, and Hasbro's coming out with these little G.I. Joe
Yeah.
figures, and now they have these cartoons, and the comics are coming out. Well, the comic comes out, and one of the cool G.I. Joe figures were all black. His name's Snake Eyes.
Right.
He's an American ninja. He doesn't talk. So
Right.
they had the idea to have a comic focused on Snake Eyes. He doesn't talk. He breaks into the bad guys, whoops everyone's ass, rescues the princess, and leaves. And they just reprinted that comic. And I got it.
Okay.
So, and it was like 2 days after you go, what do I got to do? Right?
Right.
To get you to do Never Not Ninjas. And I'm like, And I went to the comic shop looking for that feeling.
Right.
And I got it.
Good.
And it was there. And I'm like, holy shit. And I got the comic and was all excited. And then I got one for you. And I'm like, oh man. And I put on my snap and I'm like, I was at the comic shop and I got this and I got one for my buddy Chris. And you're like, right?
I fucked you up because I was like, hey, thanks for getting me that book. You were like,
You-
I didn't even tell you.
You texted me, hey, thanks for the comic, blah, blah, blah. But I hadn't told you. I hadn't given it to you. Nothing. I didn't know you were looking at my snap.
Stalker.
No, but then you got somehow inspired on comics.
Yeah.
And so I didn't even give it to you yet.
Watch last episode.
And then you went
for
to the
more
comic
insight on
shop.
comics.
And it's just like, man,
Yeah.
it's great.
So
And now you're talking to
Good.
Parsons, and you guys are going to be doing music and comics together.
I hope you're feeling inspired
Yeah, man, I got it right here.
because I want to see some of this shit. And like I said, I want you to win. I've been wanting you to win.
Oh, also, I wanted you to see this. Remember Humphrey and Charlie? Glue.
Oh, yes.
It's in this fucking comic.
You're going to need glue.
That's a Bay Area shit.
Lots
No.
of glue.
This is it right here.
Okay.
It's a reprint.
Oh, so it's issue 21.
Correct.
Oh, of G.I. Joe. This just happens to be an issue that's of G.I. Joe that's focused on him. Okay,
Correct.
got it.
And the whole comic has no words in it at all. So, as a creator studying this comic, like, oh, how can you tell a story with no thought balloons, no word bubbles, no meanwhile, none of that? You just got to tell a story, right? So, this is like a case
Yeah.
study. So, I've been studying it backwards and forwards, and I'm going to make all my comics like that.
You want good.
So that you don't need words.
Right. You want to hear something weird. So
I
like
always want to hear something weird.
about comic book, real simple. So like I'm
You know, the comic book episode was the last episode. Continue.
I'm the guy who doesn't look for superhero comics, right? I'm looking for independent comics.
Superheroes
right?
suck. Costumes suck.
I'm just saying. So like the independent comic books, for the most part, no ads.
Yes.
Maybe Jesus. Maybe an ad for like their other books.
Correct.
Right? But like in the Run DMC comic, it's put out by a major company. And I'm sure like most of the superhero one, it's like they're full of ads.
Right.
And like dumb ads.
Not only are they full of ads, they have to cater to those advertisements. So if the advertisement says, we don't like how you drew a titty in that panel, cover that titty up, right? Mm-hmm. That's the beauty of our show. No sponsors,
Titties and all.
broke.
The I ams. Titties and all.
Ooh, I like that. I like that. No, but we don't have
you
to
know.
worry about sponsors, so we can be real. When we talk about shit,
Yeah.
we're real.
Yeah.
I love that. We're counterculture.
We're looking for sponsors, please. No,
Yeah,
I'm
please,
kidding.
please. Fuck.
So let's see. So we've come, you know,
So
like,
you went to his house to try and inspire him.
and here I am again.
Mm-hmm.
Don't make me keep doing this, Brandon. Anyways.
all the while,
Uh-oh.
I have been inspiring Chris Lujan,
True.
right? This YouTube show.
damn it.
My idea. These comic books. My idea. It's great. It's great. I love the whole thing. Who do you think you are? I know, man. Are you going to hit this with me or not?
We is.
I truly enjoy you, and I missed you, man. I haven't seen you in a long time.
Yeah, I know. Oh, so let's get it. I guess we're talking about our history here, right? So initially you were supposed to beat me up. Never happened. High school ends. We get into a band
Also,
together.
I think you would
Then
whoop
we
my
start-
ass. I think you break me in half. I'm too flamboyant, dude.
I don't know.
I'm too flamboyant. You got those bass playing fingers. You'd fuck me up, dude.
Well, you know what? I guess this is how I feel about us fighting. I feel like, oh, if he got in a lucky shot, he could take me. Other than that, I think we would both struggle with each other.
That's all I count on. A lucky shot. Hopefully I get it.
I guess.
Hopefully I get it. Don't let me down.
So let's see. Is there anything else to cover? I was there. We talked about it. I was there when you lost your son. Through all of that stuff. We were in a band together, Underground Agent 6. We've continued on. I did your soundtrack for the show that's coming out soon, BINDU Bluntly.
That's missing a lot of stuff.
What am I missing? I feel like I'm
What
rushing
happens
through
in
it.
between?
So he says, this is what he says. I was not a weed smoker. So he was going down weed smoker path and was now hanging out with weed smokers. And he thought I was anti-weed, right? Is that the story?
Yes. Well, kind of.
Because I have other points.
Well, I have to play nice to everybody all the time.
Yeah.
Because in '99, when you watched me lose my son,
Mm-hmm.
There's no rule book for that. There's like,
Oh, yeah, of
you know,
course.
what do you do? Mm-hmm. So me and my wife lost our minds and had to deal with that. And it took every ounce of everything for it to not to work anyways.
Right.
So neither of us had any friends or anything like that during that time.
Yeah.
That went on for like 10 years.
Yeah.
That's when I quit watching movies and all that. So you're like, there's this block where you quit watching films.
Right. Which is actually exciting for me because I get to show you movies.
Yeah, we get to sit down and watch them.
But so there was a time you had already mentioned the weed stuff because I think we talked about that in an episode.
And back then, weed was very bad guy. You had to be a bad guy. You
Yeah,
had to
it
know
wasn't.
bad
It wasn't
guys.
Or on
legal.
drugs.
Yeah, you had to be around bad guys. And I
Yeah.
was this tough, fucking bad guy kind of guy. Like,
Sure.
like Batman.
If you say so.
Dress up like a bad guy, hang out with the bad guys.
Okay.
Right?
So, but I also know of an event where like I was like looking for artwork or I was looking for, and I've mentioned this to you before and you're like, that's not it at all. I don't remember this, but I was looking for a program so that I could start making posters for my band. And you were like, just let me do it, right? This is all on like Facebook. So people are commenting and other people are telling me like, oh, use Apple Pages or whatever. And like a few days later or something, I was like, oh, I figured out Apple Pages. I think I'm good with this. And I thought that pissed you off. Oh. Because you're like, have me do it. And I think you saw that as me rejecting you. This is all in my head.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh, because you like unfriended me on all this shit. Apparently you were going through other stuff. This is well after 99 when you lost your kid. And so you were going through other stuff and maybe you got off of Facebook. I can't even remember, but I was like, oh, I pissed him off because I'm like, I didn't use him and whatever. Now,
Yeah.
he says that's not even a thing. So I'm choosing to believe him.
Yeah. Well, it wasn't, I have a very tight knit circle of friends and you are definitely in that circle.
So we didn't talk for a long time and I thought it was because of this, right? And then we're in
10 years went by and
Yeah.
I didn't talk to Sotero. And then
Well,
he just
see,
came
this
and
is
he
all,
goes,
this is all stuff I wouldn't know.
he was like, bro, you ready for that tattoo? I'm like, yeah. And he came and he gave me a fucking sleeve. Like,
See, this is all stuff I wouldn't know.
yeah.
So then,
Very Batman.
me and my wife,
Part of the Justice League, but not really part of the Justice League. Always alone
He has
in
a
my
plan
cave.
for all of them.
okay.
Yeah.
So me and my wife
I'm not buddy.
and you and your brother we're in Target and we're walking towards each other.
Am I working in Target?
No.
Okay.
And I hadn't seen you in years. And the last I know is when this event happened where you were like, fuck Chris for not using me.
Are you
right?
getting ready to jujitsu me at this time?
No. I'm like, oh shit, here comes Brandon who is fucking pissed at me.
Oh.
That's what I thought, right?
Yeah.
You're walking with your brother and then,
Oh, that must have looked scary.
well, I'm like,
Because Rye looks scary.
well, but in my mind, well, I don't have anything, but I know Raya's nice too.
Yeah, he is, but he don't look nice.
but I know he's nice. But in my mind, it's like, okay, what's this going to be? He's like, in my mind, you're going to go like, psh, and like walk past me or whatever.
How fun.
So I didn't know what it was going to be, but it was like, oh, hey, how you, like, because like I said, I thought you were pissed. But like, you were like, oh, hey, what's up? You should come to one of my paint nights. Somehow I knew you were doing paint night.
Yeah.
I think you never quit Facebook. I think you just dumped me, but I'm choosing to believe you.
Okay.
So you were like, you should come to paint night. And so me and my wife went to a paint night, right?
Dude, my first Instagram was Bomb to the Zom. I had hella shit on there.
Okay.
I ended that.
Yeah.
And I really regret that.
Oh, it's not all, you can't even get it anymore?
No. And I lost a whole lot of fucking followers and
Sure.
all kinds of shit. So it must have been around those times.
Bomb to the Zom. You could still find those pieces out there, I think.
Yeah, because I hashtagged them. But anyways, whatever.
So
Here I come. You're expecting.
confrontation of some sort or blowing me off. And you were like, oh, you should come to a paint night. So like me and Christine went to a paint night.
Oh, this is when you're expecting me to be a dick.
Yep. Well, I'm not expecting you to be a dick. I'm not like, oh, but I'm like, I still think, even though he invited us to paint night on his dime, he's up there on stage with a microphone. And so I'm like,
Controlling the entire scenario.
and here I am thinking he's pissed, even though he invited us. And I was like, he's going to fucking say something.
Wow. Wow. Inside, I was saying, I get to show off to Chris right now. I get to show him
I did not
that,
know
like,
that.
even though we did the Agent 6 30 fucking years ago, here I am, rocking the house.
Look, I did it.
With the, exactly.
Yeah,
That's how I felt.
I get it. I get it now.
Because you're a musician. You did it.
Yeah.
And I always felt like I'm the Norman Rockwell painting of the kid pushing the stroller while his friends are playing baseball, right? And I started that family young, and you fucking musiced out. You've been musicking.
Yeah.
You've never stopped musicking,
I'm still musicking.
right? And so now I got the musicer in the audience, and I'm like, I did it too, buddy. And,
I guess so.
You know? And so that's weird that you were looking at it like that, because I was like, hell yeah.
Well, I wasn't like, fuck Brandon. I was like, is he still
You were
mad?
waiting.
Is he going to say something?
You were
And I knew
waiting.
it wouldn't be malicious, but you tease people in the audience.
Right, but you weren't
You know.
malicious, but you were waiting for the shark bite.
I guess so, yeah.
Okay.
I felt like I was in the shark cage.
Yeah.
And the shark
And
was...
you were the one who put yourself
the
there.
shark,
could see it.
and the shark was swimming around.
Yeah, I could see it, but
I
no,
did put myself
the whole
there,
thing was
in
love.
my head.
It was love.
Yeah.
And I was really happy to see you.
When was this?
That
It had
was
to be
that was pre-COVID even, I think.
pre-COVID?
Oh my God. Yeah, my shows were insane then. It was like 50, 60 people every time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you still have those paintings.
Yay.
Oh, we do? In the
swear
garage?
you-
Art
okay.
heals, man. Art heals.
So then, ever since then, we've been in touch more. And then, I mean, we've talked about this a million times, but like, I'm doing a soundtrack for you and you're doing art for me for Son of Mustard. So we've talked about that a bunch. And that probably takes us to today.
Well,
Right?
what happened was that I started getting my shit together mentally, kind of. And so you started noticing that change in me.
Yes, there was that too, which
s-
we've talked about a lot.
And so we bonded.
Yeah.
Right, and it's been strong ever since then, and like right now, yeah, I'm in a much calmer, clearer. I'm trying not to be violent at all. What time is it?
It's 3:40.
Right.
He's going on hour 64 of not eating.
Yeah, just water, tea, and black coffee.
Now, I'm not telling you not to eat, but I haven't heard your stomach once today.
Dude, I'm telling you, I'm on this weird, like, all that surrealistic shit that you hear people talk about. I'm there. My body is eating itself. It's autophagy, and it's happening right now.
This may be the last episode
I probably
as Brandon dwindles away.
my birthday's in 2 weeks, and I'm just gonna. Boink, boink.
Make sure to like and subscribe and join our Discord and Patreon. Check out our links.
Now back to the show. Oh, that's what I want to talk about. Video games. That Zelda shit. God damn. No, like to get past the time when I'm not eating.
Sorry.
I'm going on these Zelda Breath of the Wild All it is it's a video game. It's an open world video game. And for those of you that don't know, because there's a whole lot of people that don't, the whole rest of the world is like, what the fuck's wrong with you? It's the greatest video game ever made.
Mm-hmm.
And you're in an open world where you're an elf and you're in a field and there's little tiny shrines, underground bunkers.
Mm-hmm.
In every bunker you go, there's like 100 of them. And every one you go into is a neat little Zen-like puzzle escape room. And when you get out of the puzzle escape room, there's like a little Buddha that congratulates you, and it's really fucking cool to do.
Yeah.
And I am addicted to this goddamn game, man. And your son knows exactly what I'm talking about because he has passed this game, and he understands what I'm going through right now, and this is my first time ever, and I should have recorded it. Old man experiences Breath of the Wild for the first time. It would have been huge.
I mean, you could start now.
I could.
You could do like hey, I was playing this thing and I feel like I have to do this. This is where I'm at in it right now.
So what happened was...
I'm sorry I derailed you.
No, it's all good, man. Right around the first... Getting past the first hunger pains, the first 24 hours is really difficult to do, right? And then something weird happens and you just quit getting hungry. And now I'm on day 3.
Right.
Yeah. I don't feel like eating. That's why I was asking you, what sounds good? Because nothing sounds
We
good.
almost got in a fight earlier.
No, only in your head again. You build this whole shit up. It does, I mean, you roll your eyes, but we just talked about how you did that at Paint Night. I think you do that a lot.
Maybe.
It's not happening.
Okay.
It's only happening in your head.
All right then.
Which is awesome. That's a whole movie.
Great.
Because
Being
what if,
Chris Lujan.
what if yeah, being Chris Lujan, he has this whole like contingency plans of all these things based off all these scenarios he's created in his head.
Yet here he is from the other episode talking about all of the arguments he's got stored away in his brain.
Serial killer.
Projecting. I'm just projecting.
Okay.
Right? Yeah, so to fast for like 3 days, no violence, you have to have the discipline of a serial killer for sure. Right?
Sure.
Yeah.
Well, I was calling him a serial killer for having contingency plans.
Yeah, I also have
What
contingency plans.
what else is there about us together? We still have to get to your story and my story separately, but what else?
Does anyone care? They care about yours.
I don't know.
You have a discography, you have all kinds of stuff. I'm just kind of like, I was watching this thing on Hunter S. Thompson, and Hunter S. Thompson's whole myth became bigger than him.
Yeah.
And he started talking like, he's like, I'm in the way of the myth now. I just need to get out. I need to die so you can just take the myth and make movies and shit. That was, right? BINDU got really crazy. It got huge, like a weird dragon. Like a dragon that's flying through the air in Breath of the Wild that I saw yesterday. It was insane. Anyways, whatever. Dude, when you're high and you haven't eaten in a long time and you're a 4K TV and it's curved and surround sound and moonlighting and all that, and you're like, wow, what a wonderful game. What's next? And a gigantic 300-foot long dragon flies through the sky with like beautiful Asian music. Is it enchanting? It's galloping through the sky. Wow, this is great. Right? That's where I was last night.
Next time you see it, you should shoot an arrow at it.
Really? An arrow at the dragon. What could possibly happen? The fire coming out of its mouth maybe would be turned on me. I don't know. I'm looking at the whole game as a work of art is what I'm saying. And it's great. I feel like I'm surrounded by art and talking to you and you're like, I just got back from the comic store. You actually called me from the comic store.
Yeah.
And you're like, you need anything? And I was so fucking touched.
They only had number 5.
And I'm like, actually I do. And I'm like, let me go through it. So Wolverine number 2, Revenge.
So here's the thing. This was on Sunday, which is 2 days ago, right? And we just get in the car and we know we're going to comic book stores. And Christine goes, should we ask? I was like, let me ask Brandon, blah, blah, blah.
I love your wife, man.
And then she was like, why don't you just ask him if he wants to come? And I was like, we're going to eat first. And then we're going to the comic book store. Then we were supposed to go to the grocery store.
Smart.
I was like, I don't want to. He don't want to.
He's not eating.
Yeah.
He's not eating.
So just know there might have been an invite if you weren't fasting.
Next time you go to Japantown,
Oh yeah.
I'm all in.
You told me not to take you there.
But this time I want to get a teapot like Maceo.
Okay.
Yeah, I want one. I like a lot of tea and coffee and shit. Yeah.
You want one that yeah. You don't want one that you put on a burner. You want one that you pour hot water into.
Yeah.
Okay. All right then.
Yeah, you know, fancy shit. I like
Noted.
rituals.
Noted.
I like little
Noted.
rituals.
Okay,
and
I
all
figure
that.
you would like the ritual of it.
Yeah.
Anyways, yeah. Us.
So
This is us.
when it comes to me and you, I am very proud of you and your endeavors, and I want you to be like, I want everyone to know who you are, because I could be like, first of all, bitch, I knew that motherfucker.
First of all.
His mom knows who I am, bitch, right? Yeah, like that.
And likewise.
So I look forward to you when you're coming here. I'm like, yeah, you know,
Well, yeah, me too.
right? I had to fix that goddamn thing again.
Yep.
I didn't want the light coming through. I will fix my squeaky thing.
So let's keep doing this.
Yeah. It's good. And now you're into comics, man. That's fucking
I know.
great.
What the fuck happened?
And then now you're going to
You're
get back
rubbing
into
off on
skating.
me.
You're going to get back into skating.
The problem with skating, though, is like you cannot skate by yourself. I mean, Rodney Mullen could, but he's on another level. But like skating by yourself is, I don't want to say it's boring, but it's not as exciting as doing it with a crew, you know?
Next on the IAMs, skating. Fuck yeah!
All right.
Fuck yeah! Now you got to find that tape. Now you got to find that tape. Now you got to find that tape.